It's like an inside joke that I'm not in on. The scene with the popcorn garland literally had me rolling on the floor. Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a 24-hour readathon. So today's 24-hour readathon is themed, so I am going to be focusing on reading Christmas and holiday books throughout the entirety of the next 24 hours that I'm going to be reading. So I am going to try and read for about 12 hours today and 12 hours tomorrow, but I do have an eye doctor appointment tomorrow that I'm going to have to go to, so I probably will have to pause the timer during that. But for the most part, my plan is to just read as much as I can 12 hours today and potentially 12 hours tomorrow. So I have a small TBR. There's no way that this TBR is going to get me through the entirety of the 24 hours, I already know, but there are 3 books that are currently on my radar at the moment, and I definitely have plans to find some more as well. But the first book on my radar that I want to get to in this 24 hours is Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn. This is the second book in her like Christmas rom-com series that she started writing last year. I read the first book last Christmas, and so now I am wanting to read this one. So I do have it on my Kindle that I'm hoping to get to. I'm honestly probably going to start with that one because I feel like I know that that one's gonna be a like funny, easy time. And so I feel like that'll really get me into the reading mood going forward into these next 24 hours. And then next up, I have The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ellie Carter. This one is short, and I think this one is a bit of like a mystery romance type of situation. It says Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers Christmas romance mystery, and I feel like that sounds really fun. It's not too long, so I feel like this is a good one that I will probably end up picking up during this 24 hours. And then also one that is on my December TBR, I've got Christmas Sweater Weather by Jacqueline Snow, and I got this book last year when I went book shopping for some Christmassy type books. So I have this one as well that is a contender. So we will see if I end up getting to this one in the 24 hours. I feel like I'm probably going to spend a lot of time mood reading. So if I find a different Christmas book that I might be a little bit more interested in, I feel like I'm just gonna see where the wind takes me and figure out what my moods are looking like over the next little bit. So I am going to be starting at 9:30, which is probably in about 10-ish or so minutes, and then potentially going to 9:30 p.m. tonight, and just gonna see how much reading I can get done. So like I mentioned, I think I will be starting with Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. So I have this on my Kindle. My Kindle is charged and ready to go, and I'm going to go sit on the couch and start reading once it hits 9:30. All right, I've got my setup here. I'm gonna set my timer on my iPad here, so that way we can start the 24 hours once it hits 9:30. We're still a few seconds out, but I did get me a little Alani so that way I can get some energy going because I'm feeling pretty tired right now. So I want to start this off on a good note. So I am going to energize a little bit, but now it is about to be 9:30. It's currently 9:29, so waiting on the clock to turn. Okay, so it just turned. It is now 9:30 and our 24 hours has officially begun. So I just finished Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, and we have about 7 hours and 53 minutes left in the 12 hours for today. So I think I am getting ready to start another book. So I haven't picked out what I'm gonna start just yet. I feel like I kind of want to start The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, but I think I might look on Kindle Unlimited and see what else is out there. And yeah, but I have a feeling that I'll probably end up going The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and then while I start reading that, I probably will start looking for something else to read. But I really enjoyed Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. I thought it was so fun. I think I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. I thought it was such a fun, funny time. The scene with the popcorn garland literally had me rolling on the floor. Oh my goodness. I was actually feeling secondhand embarrassment. Like that was so funny. Oh my god, like I literally was in here rolling on the floor. Like it was so funny. But I had such a good time reading that. So now I'm gonna move on to the next book, and I think I'm gonna do The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. I think I might, like I said, also look for something else to maybe read once I finish that, and I will obviously keep you guys updated on what I choose. But I feel like so far we're doing really well. I feel like I'm pacing myself really well, and I'm excited to start the next book. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start the next book, and I will update you guys again once I have some thoughts and feelings on the book that I choose. Just finished The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter, and I feel like this was really fun. I feel like it was like stuff that I've read before. I feel like there was obviously a little bit more emphasis on the romance, but it did very much give like mystery vibes. We're following Maggie and Ethan, and they are sort of like rivals in the publishing space, but it's one of those things where it's like he's her rival, but she's not really his rival type situation. And so they both get invited to her favorite author's house to spend Christmas there, and she sees Ethan on the plane and she's like, what are you doing here? And so they end up going, and it ends up turning into a like Knives Out situation where Eleanor, the favorite author, like disappears, and they're trying to figure out what happened and where she went. And apparently there is someone that has been invited to this house who has been trying to kill Eleanor, and so Maggie and Ethan have to essentially try and figure out who's been trying to kill Eleanor and like solve the mystery. And then obviously, of course, along the way they fall in love. And it was a very short book. It literally only took me like less than 3 hours to read this book, but I feel like my rating for this is probably gonna be a 3.5 star. I felt like it was good, just not my favorite. And I definitely feel like I've read something very similarly to this before, but I feel like it was a fun holiday book to read, and definitely would recommend it for this time of year. I had gotten this in my book of the month box last December, but did not get a chance to read it last December, but I'm happy that I was able to read it in this video. And I feel like if you're looking for a Christmas book that has a bit of romance, but also the main focus isn't really on the romance, like it is a big part of the plot, but it's not like the main plot, I would definitely recommend this to check out, especially considering it's such a short read. It would be very quick to read for this holiday season. So now that I'm done reading this book, I am going to pick up the next book. There is still about 4.5 hours left of my 12 hours for today, but I do still have about 16.5 hours for the readathon in total. So I potentially could read over my allotted 12 hours tonight, which would be really good for me tomorrow. But for now, I am going to start the next book that I'm going to be reading in this video, and it is a Kindle book. This one is Merry Little Christmas by Lauren Blakely. I haven't really seen anyone talking about this book, but it looks like it is a holiday romance. It's the second book in the Evergreen Falls series, which I did not know, so I might actually look at the first one to see if it's also kind of like a Christmassy romance, so that way I can potentially read that one first and then go into this one if I like that one. So let me look and see if the first one is also, but it looks like it's a hockey single dad type romance. And I think it's also brother's best friend. So that sounds really fun. So I'm wondering if the first one is my favorite holiday, which would be book 1. And this one, I feel like I'm gonna download. So I might go for this one first and then go into the next book, depending on how I'm feeling about this first one. But I feel like I would enjoy this series. And I feel like, I don't know if I've read anything from Lauren Blakely before, but I feel like this would be good to start with. So this is the next book that I'm gonna start reading. I'll probably figure out some dinner here soon. I had a like Friendsmas situation the other night, and so I still have leftovers from that, but I've been eating that for like the last 2 days now. So I am kind of a little bit over it at the moment, but I might go ahead and just like keep eating on that. I don't know, we'll see, but I'm probably gonna get some dinner soon and figure that out. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna start one of these 2 books. I am not sure which one yet. I think I'm just gonna read both of the synopses and see which one I'm more interested in, but I have a feeling that I'll probably pick up the first book just because I have such a like weird like habit of not wanting to read books and series out of order, even if they can be read out of order. I just prefer to read them because I feel like I'm missing so many like background clues, and I feel like it's like an inside joke that I'm not in on when it comes to like the characters inside, like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's something that I'm missing out on, and so I want to make sure that like I'm getting the full picture. So my Kindle is taking a really long time, so I'm gonna go figure this out, read the synopses, see which one I'm gonna read next, and I will update you guys once I've started the next book that I'm gonna read. Okay, so I just have to say, I am only on chapter 2, like literally on chapter 2, the second page of chapter 2. And so, okay, so I decided to go with my favorite holiday, and I am already loving this. Like literally, I feel like this, obviously I know they're 2 separate authors, but I feel like this book already is giving the same vibes to me as like a Megan Quinn book, with the humor and like the situations that the main characters kind of like find themselves in, and even like the writing style a little bit, like the way that I feel like Lauren Blakely is telling the story. I feel like her humor is like so in line with what I really like in rom-coms, and so I feel like I'm really going to enjoy this book. I am just having such a fun time already, and I'm only 4% in on chapter 2. I'm on page 19, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So I am gonna keep reading, and I will keep you guys updated on my thoughts and things. Now 9:30, which means that my 12 hours are officially over. So now we're at just under 12 hours. We're like 1 minute under 12 hours. So I'm going to pause this for now while we talk really quickly, but I am going to continue reading for the night so that way I can finish my favorite holiday. So I am literally on the last chapter of this book. I am 94% into the book, so I will be finishing this tonight before I go to bed, but I am really enjoying this book. I have really liked this book. So we are following Fable, and she is a jewelry designer. She does like custom t-shirts and like just designs different things. And we're also following Wilder, and he is actually her boss, but not like her direct boss. So he is the owner of a football team, or is it a hockey team? He's an owner of some professional team, and so she designs like the merch for the franchise, and so that's how they kind of like work together, but he's not her direct boss. And so his best friend is marrying Fable's sister, so that's also kind of how they know each other as well. And this book starts out at Thanksgiving, where Fable finds her boyfriend cheating on her with the caterer in the present wrapping closet, and so obviously she dumps him immediately. And then Wilder and Fable hatch up this plan to fake date for the wedding, since her ex is also in the wedding as a best man, because her ex is the groom's cousin. So I know that sounds like kind of complicated and whatnot, but so her ex obviously is bringing the girl that he cheated with to the wedding. So Fable was like, okay, well, I need to bring someone to make him jealous. And so she thought of Wilder, which honestly Wilder was the one that kind of like suggested it, but it was so fun. And of course, like, they start fake dating, and then of course they end up falling in love. And I just feel like this book has been so fun so far. I've been really enjoying the writing. I've had a few laugh out loud moments. I feel like I am just really enjoying this story. I just love rom-coms. I feel like they're just so fun, and I feel like this one is no different. I feel like this is probably one of my favorite of the Christmassy holiday rom-coms that I've read, because while this one does revolve around like Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's not like super Christmassy. Like, the main point is like Fable's sister's wedding is taking place on Christmas Eve, I want to say, is when they're getting married. And so while it is the Christmas holiday and the Christmas time, it's not like super Christmassy. Like, at the town that they go for the wedding, they do have like these like Christmas games that they play like for the town, because it's like a little small town. And so they have these like Christmas games, and so a part of like the wedding was that everyone was gonna come, and then they would like team up to participate in Christmas games. And so that's really as Christmassy as it gets. Like, they make gingerbread houses and things like that, and it's of course like snowing because it's in the mountains, and they're like staying in these like chalets and whatnot. But honestly, I feel like it has been literally so fun, and I feel like I would recommend this book. I am really enjoying it. I feel like it's a little early to give a rating, just because I still have to finish the last chapter in the epilogue, and sometimes the epilogue can make or break an ending for me. Like, I will say with Face Off, just as an example, by Chelsea Curto, that book was a solid 4-star up until the epilogue, and then some things happened in the epilogue that I just really didn't like, and it like knocked it down, I think, like half a star or something for me. So I'm going to wait until I finish this before I give my final rating, but it's definitely feeling like it could be in the 4s. So we'll see how it ends, and I definitely feel like I might end up picking up the second book tomorrow, but we'll see. I feel like I've just been really loving reading on my Kindle lately. I just feel like I am falling back in love with my Kindle, and I'm just really wanting to read books that are on Kindle Unlimited, because I feel like over the past year I've been really kind of like not reading on my Kindle, or like using Kindle Unlimited as much. And so I don't know, I feel like I'm just really like loving reading my Kindle Unlimited again. So, but anyways, so those are my final thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this book. It says that I have 9 minutes left, so I'm gonna read that really quickly, and then I will let you guys know what my final thoughts are and how much time we have left on the timer before I go to bed. that was so cute and fun. I really liked that epilogue. So I am going to be rating this book 4.25 stars. I really liked this. I thought it was so fun. I just thought it was like the perfect wintry, fun, rom-com-y book, and I'm so happy that I picked this up. It was not really on my radar at all. I'm definitely really excited about book 2 because it is like single dad hockey player, which this one was single dad as well. So I'm thinking like if Lauren Blakely continues to write like books in this series that they will continue to be like single dad ones, but this one was single dad. The next one in the series is also single dad, but I think it's professional hockey player versus like football team owner or whatever. So like rich men, millionaire, billionaire type romances, and yeah, I don't know, that was so fun. I feel like the books have been really good today. I feel like I've been liking all of the books that I've been reading today, so that's super exciting. But now that I am done with this one officially, I am pausing the timer at 11 hours, 53 minutes, and 26 seconds to read tomorrow. So I want to wake up probably around like 7:30 or 8 to start reading. I do have to go to my eye doctor's appointment like I mentioned, so I am expecting to be gone. I do also have to run to the post office to drop off a panko order, and also I need to grab some more like poly mailers for any other like pango orders that I might have because I just used my last one. So I will be grabbing some of those. So I will have to go to my eye doctor, go to the post office, go to the store. So that is what tomorrow is looking like. My appointment's at like 11-ish. So I will have a few hours to read in the morning, go to my appointment, and then come back and then hopefully do the remaining reading time then, and then edit this video so that way I can get it up for you guys the next day. But yeah, so that's where we're at now. I'm really excited to start Merry Little Christmas. So we're gonna see if I'm in the mood for that in the morning still. But yeah, so that's my update for now. And I will talk to you guys in the morning when we start our next 12 hours. Good morning. So it is now the next day and I'm going to continue with my 24 hours. So I have my iPad here so I can start the timer back. So last night when I stopped the timer, I had 11 hours, 53 minutes, and 26 seconds left. It is currently 8:18 in the morning and I am probably gonna go ahead and get started. I feel like I'm not really gonna worry too much about like being 8:30 to 8:30 or 8:20 to 8 or like whatever, just because I know that in the middle of the day I will have to stop for a few hours to go take care of my eye doctor appointment that I told you guys that I had. So I am not too worried since I know that I will be having to like stop the timer at some point. But I am going to go ahead and jump right on in to Merry Little Christmas by Lauren Blakely. This is the Evergreen Falls book number 2, and I don't know who this is following. I'm not sure if we met these people in the last book, but I know that this one is a single dad hockey romance. So I'm super excited to get into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this now. I'll probably make some breakfast and like a coffee or something before I like head out, because I have about 2 hours until I have to leave. My appointment's like at 11, so I need to leave my house at like 10:30. So I have a couple of hours that I can do some reading. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that now, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer back and get to reading. Okay, so I am now currently at my doctor's office appointment. I'm sitting in my car right now until it's time for me to go in, but I have been listening to A Merry Little Christmas on the way into my appointment, so I've been letting the timer run while I've been listening to the audiobook. And while I've been sitting here waiting, I was just filling out some paperwork like on my online portal, but I have paused the timer and I will be pausing it until I'm done with my appointment. So anytime I'm in the car, I'm gonna start the timer again, and then anytime I'm like not listening to the audiobook, obviously I'm not gonna be running the timer until I get back home. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I am probably close to like 30 to 40% into the book. I want to say it's been like an hour or two since I started it, but I am enjoying it. I feel like I like the first one just a little bit more than this one, but I feel like a lot of the like tropes are very similar, but this one I feel like is more Grumpy Sunshine than the last one. And we have like our main male character Rowan. He isn't big into Christmas because his ex like left him on Christmas Day and left their daughter with him, and so now he's a single dad, and so he just has really bad memories about Christmas and things like that. So he doesn't like Christmas. He's very like grumpy and Scroogey, and so his teammates decide that they're like done listening to him hate on Christmas and have to babysit him at like the team functions and things. So they set him up with a matchmaking service to try and find him like someone to go on dates and stuff with. But he has a crush on his best friend's sister, who is also like his manager. His best friend is his manager, not the sister, but his best friend's sister is a matchmaker, so they hire her to like find someone for him, and she has a crush on him too. So like obviously they're gonna end up like falling in love. But so far it's fun. It again goes back to that town that was in the last book, and now the two of them are like coaching the teams for like the competition that they have every year. So I don't know, it's fun so far, so I'm gonna keep listening to it. I do have to go into my appointment right now, so I am going to stop listening for the time being. I might see if I can read a couple pages while I'm in there because it is on my Kindle, so I did bring my Kindle with me to potentially read a few pages while I wait. But I thought I would give that update really quickly, and I will probably talk to you guys again once I get home. That is if I don't finish it in the car between now and the time that it takes me to like run the couple of errands that I have to do. So I might talk to you guys again once I get home, but I could talk to you before that, so we'll see. Talk to you guys again soon. Okay, so I'm now back home. I have gotten my eyes dilated, so I can't really read super close, but I will say it is better now than it was. So I'm thinking if I turn like the size of the words up by a lot, that it should be fine. But I did also get the audiobook so I could listen to it while I was driving around and doing things. So I might just have to go the audiobook route until my eyes are a little bit better and I can see a little bit more clearly. But I did end up starting the timer back. So I forgot to pause the one on my iPad before I left, so that one is off by about 2 hours. So I do have about 8.5 hours left of reading to do today. So that should put me done around 10 p.m. So I feel like I'm okay with that. I'm gonna keep the timer going, and I'm planning on just reading a bunch for the rest of the day. Since my eyesight is not super great, I can't really read up close that well. I don't really know if I'm gonna get to Christmas sweater weather today. We'll see. I might see about reading it like later on in the month or something, but for now I'm gonna try and stick to Kindle and potentially audiobooks for the rest of this readathon, because I totally forgot that they were gonna dilate my eyes when I planned to do this 24-hour readathon over these couple of days. So just a hitch, but we're gonna make it work. So with that, I'm gonna keep going in Merry Little Christmas. I have been making some really good progress in it. I am on chapter 35. So let me see where that is. So I'm about 65% into the book. So I am expecting to finish this in the next like couple of hours. So I'm going to continue reading, and I will talk to you guys once I have another update on Merry Little Christmas and I finish the book. I just finished Merry Little Christmas by Lauren Blakely, and I think I'm gonna give this one 3.5 stars. I didn't like this one as much as I liked the one from yesterday, but I feel like if I would have read them in reverse order, then maybe I would have liked this one a little bit more. But I don't know. I feel like like the tropes in this one, while I enjoyed like the overall premise of the story, I just feel like it wasn't really my favorite. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. I thought that it was a like good holiday romance type situation. I felt like it was really good for this season. So I am going to try and find another book to read now. One that is probably on my Kindle and or an audiobook. So I'm gonna need to look for that because I tried looking for the audiobook of Christmas Sweater Weather and I don't think there is an audiobook for that book. So I'm probably just gonna have to read it a little bit later in the month just because I don't think I'm gonna get to it today just because the whole dilation of my eyes and things like that. So I'm gonna spend a few minutes looking for another Christmas ebook or audiobook and start that. So once I find which book I'm planning on reading, I'll let you guys know and let you know when I start it and what I end up starting. Okay, so the next book that I found that I think I'm gonna read is called Big Nick Energy. And I found 2 books with the same title. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to start both of them and read both of them. So I think the one that I'm going to pick up first is going to be the one by Morgan Elizabeth. And then I also got the one by Kristen Bailey. So I'm going to read both of these books, but I'll probably read one and then do like a Christmas novella and then start the next one. I think neither one of them are that long, so I'm gonna try and see if I can get to both of them before the time is up for the evening. So I did go ahead and download them to my Kindle so that way I could start them. So I'm going to start with the Morgan Elizabeth one. This one is a single mom cowboy type romance. So this is the one that I'm gonna start with. I really like the cover. I think it's super cute, but it's under 300 pages, so I don't think it'll take me too long to read. So this is the one that I'm going to start now. Reading Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. I'm currently on chapter 29, so I'm about 57% into the book, so just over halfway. And so far I'm liking it okay. So we're following Shay, and she's a single mom. She ends up going on a date with this guy that she meets on a dating app, and they decide they're just gonna be friends. But the guy that she ends up going out with has an ulterior motive. Like basically he's like, she would be perfect for my dad. And so he starts like trying to essentially set his dad up with Shay. And Shay is a single mom who has just gotten out of an abusive marriage. She has 2 daughters. And so she is trying to deal with like the holiday season for the first time after leaving her husband. And so her and her 2 daughters are trying to like navigate this when Connor, the son, ends up bringing her and her daughters back to his like family home to meet his dad, Nick, during like Thanksgiving holiday. And so Nick starts doing like Elf on the Shelf for Shay's daughters and just really trying to court Shay, I guess I feel like is a good word, but essentially trying to really show Shay that he's like interested in her and wants to be with her and that kind of thing, as well as like trying to be kind of like a safe space for her daughters as well as herself after everything that they've gone through. And I'm liking it okay. I don't know. I feel like Nick isn't my favorite, and I also feel like Shay isn't my favorite either. I don't know. I feel like the storyline itself is fine, but as far as like the characters, I feel like they don't really have any like personalities to them. They feel very bland to me. Like I feel like I really like the premise and where the premise could go, but I just feel like it's a little bland. So I don't know, we'll see how it keeps going. I'm probably going to get some dinner here soon, but I'm gonna keep reading until I finish this and give my thoughts and feelings on it. There are still about 4 hours left in this readathon. It's about to be 6 p.m. So the timer is supposed to stop at 10:08 p.m. and it's currently 5:55. So there is still quite a bit of time to go, but I am expecting to finish this in the next couple of hours. My Kindle says that I have an hour and 52 minutes left in this book. So we will see. I am on page 159 out of 286. So this book is under 300 pages. And so I'm gonna keep going. I've been reading for probably about 2 hours or so now. So I feel like that tracks for me to have around 2 hours left. So I'm gonna keep going and I'll give an update once I finish it. But for now, I think I'm gonna grab some dinner and keep reading. I just finished Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth, and I think I'm gonna rate this book 3 stars. I thought it was fine. Like it was fine. Definitely not my favorite out of the ones that I've read today, but yeah, it was fine. I really liked at the end when he like asked the daughters for permission. I really liked that. But yeah, I don't know, 3 stars to that now that I'm done with Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. I think I'm actually going to move into the Tessa Bailey book, which is called Marry Ever After. This is like a little novella that I think I'm going to read. I feel like this will probably take me maybe an hour or so to read, if that. It is a very short book. And I'm thinking too that once I'm done with that, then I can start the other Big Nick Energy, the one by Kristen Bailey. So I'm gonna download the Tessa Bailey one first to read and then go back to the other Big Nick Energy. So that is the plan for now. This book is, how many pages is this book? Yeah, this book is 58 pages. So this is not going to take me very long to read at all. So it's probably going to take me like 30 minutes. So I have 2.5 hours left. So by the time I finish this, I should only have 2 hours left for the other Big Nick book. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start this and I will update you guys once I'm finished. Okay, I'm giving Marry Ever After 2 stars. I don't know what that was, but yeah, it's been about 30 minutes. And so I'm giving it 2 stars. We're following Evie, I think was her name. Yeah, so we're following Evie and Luke, and Evie is a single mom. She has like a 5-month-old baby. And Luke is like the owner of some sort of like farm ranch situation. And he's like this really big guy who like can't find any pants to fit him. So he keeps going into the thrift store where Evie works and he is like obsessed with her, but he doesn't like know her. And he keeps coming in trying on the pants, but he like busts out of the pants. And so she offers to make him some, but he thinks that she's married because she has a baby. And so she ends up making him pants anyway. And then she like goes and drops him off at his house. And then she like waits for him to try them on. And then she puts the baby in his room and he finds out that she's single. And then I don't know what that was. I feel like that was a waste of time. But anyway, so there's just under 2 hours left in this readathon. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and start Big Nick Energy by Kristen Bailey. I've never read anything from this author before, so I'm definitely interested to see what I'm gonna think. I think the cover is absolutely so cute. I just pulled it up on my phone here, but this is what the cover looks like, and I think that is honestly like the cutest cover ever, which I mean, I don't know why I'm showing you, like I'm not gonna pop it up on the screen, but this is what I'm gonna start next. But I'm a little nervous about this one because it seems like it could potentially be a love triangle and don't love that. So from the little bit that I read, it seems like it is about like 2 Nicks. Like she has to go to Christmas and there's 2 Nicks. So don't know, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go turn the timer off because I forgot to turn it off earlier, like I told you guys. But anyway, so I'm gonna go start this, turn that off, and then I will talk to you guys probably in about 2 hours when this readathon is over, and I'll let you know how far I got into Big Nick energy. All right, so there is less than 2 minutes left in this 24-hour readathon, and I figured I would just go ahead and give my final updates. So I have been reading Big Nick Energy by Kristen Bailey, and I am on chapter 21, 46% into the book, and I don't really know if I'm liking this. I feel like the writing style really reminds me of a Mari McFarlane book. The way that it's like written and told, where like the main character is a little like all over the place, and it is sort of like a love triangle between our main character Kay and these two Nicks. One is like an ex-boyfriend Nick, and the other is a Nick that she met at a Christmas tree farm where he like saved her from being wrapped up in like the netting. But I feel like the way that she references the Nicks is like so confusing to me, because you've got old Nick and you've got new Nick is how she calls them, and then she also calls him like sometimes like ex Nick and like other Nick, and like I don't know, it's just not really vibing with me, clicking with me. I don't know like what you want to call it, but I don't know. I feel like this book is one that probably isn't gonna stick with me. It's not very memorable. Okay, I've got like 2 seconds left. Okay, so now the timer is officially done. I feel like this book is not very memorable to me. Like I feel like this is something that I would put on in the background and would just read it to like read it, or like put on the audiobook and just like listen to it to like listen to it, and not because I'm enjoying it or not because I'm like super intrigued or interested in like what's going on. It also feels like it's leaning a little bit more like contemporary fiction, or like lit fic-y, or like chick lit, if you will. I don't know. It feels very like not romancy, which I mean is fine, but I don't know. I just was expecting more or something different. I'd been looking at some reviews where people had said that it was like a really good rom-com, and to me, I'm not really finding it like funny or like amusing or really even that interesting for real. Like I don't really care about Kay and like what she's got going on with these two Nicks. So I don't know, maybe this is just one that's not for me, because I just feel like I'm not having a good time reading this, and I don't want to be like dreading to pick this up. So it is a potential that I will DNF this book, but it depends on like how I'm feeling in a couple days, because if I don't finish this book tonight, which I probably won't, I have some other books that I'm gonna have to read before I can come back to this one. And if it gets to the point where it's like I read the other books that I want to read first, or books that I need to read for like videos that I'm working on, and I come back to this one, I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested, I don't want to read it, then I'll probably DNF it. But I don't know, part of me wants to see it through to know which Nick she ends up picking, which I feel like it's so blatantly obvious which Nick is like the right Nick, or like I don't know, but even who you would think is like the right Nick, he doesn't really seem that interested. I don't know, like he does but he doesn't, and maybe he's just very like dry personality, dry humor, like just a very dry, bland individual. And so I feel like that's why I'm having a hard time like rooting for him, because definitely not rooting for the other Nick. And I can't say that I'm like super rooting for Kay either. Like I frankly don't care. So yeah, anyways, that's where we're at. This 24 hours is now officially over. I am so happy with all of the books that I was able to read in this 24 hours. I want to say this is probably one of my most successful 24-hour readathons I've ever ever had, because the way that I finished 6 books and read half of another one, like I touched 7 books in this video in a 24-hour span, which is absolutely insane if you ask me. But I am really happy with the progress that I made, even though I did have to like stop, go to the doctor, had my eyes dilated for part of the day, which they are still a little like wonky. Like if I try to focus on something like close up, like if I try to read close up, my eyes start to kind of like get a little blurry. But other than that, I feel like this was a great readathon. I feel like it was very successful. Got so many holiday books read. I'm in the holiday spirit, so ready for Christmas at this point. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all of my social media linked in the description. If you've made it to this point in the video, leave the present emoji for all of the Christmassy type books that I read in this video. And with that being said, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.